Today's video is a whole house cleaning marathon designed to help you get out of overwhelm, maintain your home with more confidence, and feel better about your environment. I've put together some of my most helpful videos for those of you who want to get out of overwhelm fast. Each video in this marathon covers a different topic and shares practical ways to increase positivity, productivity, and motivation while managing your home and daily life. Throughout this video, I'm sharing habits, mindset shifts, cleaning motivation, transformations, and realistic routines that changed how I manage my home without feeling consumed by it. You'll see some whole house cleaning, everyday maintenance, and practical decluttering strategies that work with real mom life. This marathon isn't about doing more or keeping a perfect house. It's about learning how to keep your home from becoming another source of stress in your life. If you want your home to feel easier to maintain, less overwhelming, and more supportive of the life you're actually living, this marathon is for you. Let's get started. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing a whole house cleaning video with you while also chatting about how I went from feeling completely overwhelmed by the mess as a mom of 4 to actually being able to maintain a cleaner, more organized home. Cleaning, decluttering, and organizing have never come naturally to me, but in today's video I'm going to share the 4 factors that finally pushed me over the edge, made me make a change, and how you can do it too. If you're ready to get started, make sure you subscribe and let's do this together. The first thing I'm doing is showing you the messes around my home that we are going to tackle. Now, I know I just told you I was going to show you how I maintain a cleaner, more organized home, but let me just make something clear. Just because there's a mess does not mean your home isn't clean, decluttered, or organized. As a mom of 4 and family of 6, messes are bound to happen, and that is completely normal. It does not mean that you are not a clean or organized person, it just means your home is lived in. Some messes will get more out of control than others, but the key is to not let it turn to complete chaos where it feels overwhelming. I'm not going for an unrealistic, unattainable, Instagram-worthy home at all times, but there has to be some kind of balance, so what we're going for is maintenance, keeping things manageable so you can maintain a clean and organized home without it taking over your life. So like I said, cleaning, decluttering, and organizing did not come naturally to me, and honestly, it felt like a constant battle. I have been fighting this battle for as long as I can remember, even when I was younger. The difference is when I was younger, I had my mom there who is a naturally clean and organized person. So of course, she was there to instill some responsibility and push me to clean and organize my room at the time. But as soon as I moved out into my own home, it was complete chaos. This is why I truly believe there are 2 types of people in the world. There are those who love to plan, organize, clean, declutter, and just love structure and routines in general, and there are those who don't, like me, who have to rely more on self-discipline to get it done. So like I said just a bit ago, there were 4 factors that made me make this major shift, and I feel like they all had to align at the same time in order for it to happen. So the first thing that happened is I reached my tipping point. It wasn't one massive event that happened, but rather a slow buildup of stress, mess, and mental load that eventually just became too much. I have felt this too much feeling for years, but that feeling in itself was not enough to drive a change. My house was a total disaster at all times. I felt like a slob, dishes were in the sink, laundry was always piled up with nowhere to sit, stuff was always scattered across the floor on every surface. I felt overwhelmed, horrible, and embarrassed. But also, this was my normal, and I didn't know how to get out of it. Even though I was living in this mess for so many years, the shift happened really fast. Something in me finally snapped in the best way, and everything started to change. There was a moment, and I'll share exactly what happened in this moment in just a bit, but there was one moment that led to a few more moments within the span of about about 2 to 3 months. All of these events are what led me to my tipping point. It was then that I realized the pain of staying the same felt worse than the discomfort of change. If you are at your tipping point like I was but are having trouble getting started, rather than trying to figure it out on your own, you can download my free decluttering checklist, and if you're ready to take the next step, I have a quick start decluttering toolkit that's available as well. The toolkit is great because it goes through emotion, direction, beliefs, reflection, practical action, and quick momentum, because creating lasting change doesn't mean adjusting your routines, creating schedules, or trying to organize in different ways. I believe lasting change starts from within, and this toolkit is meant to help get you started and guide you along the way. It's something that you can use over and over again to move towards changing your habits, your headspace, and ultimately your home. I'll put the link at the top of my description. If this is something you feel like would help you, make sure you go grab it. So I was at my tipping point for quite some time, and change did not happen because I suddenly had more motivation. It happened because I hit this series of never again moments, and I'll share exactly what those moments were. Interestingly, all of these moments are in videos that I've shared over the last 2 or 3 months. So you're able to watch this shift happen in real time, and it happened rather quickly considering the amount of time, which is literally my whole life, that I've lived in a constant state of disaster. Alright, so moment number 1. I cannot remember which video this was in, but there was a ginormous mountain of laundry in my bedroom. It took me 4 hours to get through this giant pile of laundry. And I actually said in that video, never again. Never again would I allow my laundry to get to that point. And since that moment, it hasn't. Whether I needed help from a laundry service to get there or I did it myself, one way or another, I was not going to have that happen again. At this point, I have not used the laundry service in a couple of weeks, and I have been able to keep up with my laundry. I am so thankful to say. One thing I think the laundry service did for me was allow me to get a taste of relief. Would I use it again? Absolutely. If I found myself in a bind, or I was extra busy one week, or maybe my family is sick. If our laundry ever starts to pile up again, I have no problem reaching out for support. But here's the thing, after getting a taste of relief, I wanted more. Having our laundry continuously done made a difference that I actually felt. This is the second factor that caused everything to change for me, finally feeling this relief. My next never again moment that happened was when I was cleaning the bedrooms in my home. My kids' bedrooms, my bedroom, they were all complete disasters. I could not believe I let it get to that point. This is another video I did post here on my channel. It took me 3 days to get these bedrooms completely cleaned. It was at that point I thought, never again. From that point on, all of the bedrooms in my home have been maintained. Of course, kids will be kids and their bedrooms do get messy, but we now have a nightly routine where the kids pick up their room at night, and it makes it so it's much more manageable. I can't say they do this every single night because that would be unrealistic. Life happens. It's all about balance while keeping things manageable and also not having unrealistic expectations. This is about progress, not perfection. Even my bedroom will get a little bit messy at times, but it's nothing like it was. Instead of taking me hours to clean, it takes me minutes. Again, if you're having trouble moving forward on your decluttering journey, you can download my free step-by-step decluttering checklist using the link in the description below to help you get started. Another never again moment happened when I deep cleaned my disaster of a bathroom. It was so bad. I showed the whole thing in one of my videos. I even said in the beginning of this video that it was embarrassing because I knew I did not want to live like that. I had already reached my tipping point and I really just did not know how to dig myself out of all of this clutter and mess. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I was just lost in the clutter with no way to get out. This bathroom took me 2 full days of decluttering, organizing, and cleaning to get it back to a normal state. Fast forward to now, where I can clean the whole bathroom, the shower, the tub, the floor, the sinks, the toilet, everything, even the baseboards in less than 20 minutes. After this, the third factor that finally contributed to this change is that I started to see clutter differently. It wasn't just stuff, it was stealing my time, energy, and capacity to show up for my family and myself. I began to realize that having less stuff not only made me think more clearly, but also made me function better as a mom, a woman, and a human. The moment that pushed me over the edge, or the cherry on top, if you will, was when I decluttered the kids' toys this last time. They had a disaster of toys in their playroom, in the basement, in all of their bedrooms. This is when the real shift happened. I thought to myself, this is absurd. The toys, the clutter, the chaos, even though I had decluttered this space so many times, it was still out of control. I don't even know where all of those toys came from, but this time I didn't hesitate. I just started going through everything and getting rid of what we didn't need. I started filling bag after bag of donations or toys to toss. In that video, you can see me take 2 full-size contractor bags of toys out of the room, but I actually went back afterwards and filled another one. I was so done at this point. Of course, I kept tons of toys for the kids. We still have lots of toys. I am not trying to be a minimalist, but what I am trying to do is create a home that's calm, easy to maintain, and not overwhelming. You would think after removing 3 full contractor bags of toys, my kids would care or notice, but they didn't even notice or care, and that told me everything I needed to know. After all of these never again moments that happened, I really had to dig deep inside me and figure out what was going on. There was something significant changing in me, and I realized, without even meaning to, I was becoming someone who resets spaces, who declutters regularly, who chooses progress. It wasn't about cleaning, it wasn't about organizing, and it wasn't about doing more. It was about showing up as the version of me who takes action, not perfectly, just consistently, one space at a time. Basically, what I realized I was doing was changing my identity. I stopped waiting to be somebody that was naturally organized or trying to change surface things like creating new routines or different schedules, and I just owned the fact that this is who I'm becoming on my own terms. This is the 4th factor that finally led to lasting change. I let go of the person I used to be and I embraced the person I wanted to become. At this point, I am still not somebody who naturally loves cleaning, decluttering, and organizing, but I understand my why. I am consistent and I have a progress over perfection mindset. If I'm honest, I wish I would have changed sooner, and if I had had the tools to do so, I probably would have. If you're going through the same thing and you're at your breaking point but don't know how to move forward, I hope I can help you too. So you don't have to struggle the way I did for years, not with pressure, not with perfection, but with real tools, real mindset shifts, and real support to make the same kind of change in your home. I feel like I've spent so much of my life stressing about my house, feeling embarrassed, feeling like there was something wrong with me, feeling like I was always behind, always buried, always failing, and the worst part was I truly believed there was nothing I could do about it. My mindset forever has been, this is the way I've always been, and this is the way I will always be. I didn't realize I had the power to change little by little, one decision at a time. If I had known then what I know now about clutter, habits, and how much better it feels when your home works with you instead of against you, I would have done this years ago. And it wasn't that I wasn't trying, I have printed off the routines, the cleaning schedules, the checklists. I have read every cleaning, decluttering, and organizing book out there, and nothing seemed to work for me. That's when I realized that maintaining a home for somebody like me who is not naturally organized and does not love cleaning needs to mean a little more, needs to dig a little deeper in order to make some forward progress. Even though if I had known then what I know now, I would have done this years ago, I have no regrets. Instead of sitting in regret, I'm choosing to use it as fuel. I'm using it as fuel in the way that I will never let that happen again. I have reached my never again moments, and those moments, I guarantee you, will not happen again. Will my house get messy again? Absolutely. We are a busy family of 6. But there is a big difference between being messy and completely out of control. I also still have work to do. This shift in me did not happen too long ago, and I will tell you right now that my basement is still out of control. I am working on this a little bit at a time, just like you. The difference is now I am a completely different person. If you are where I was for so many years, I want you to know that it's not too late. You are not alone. You have not missed your chance. You can reset, and I am here to support you. If you are ready to start making some mindset shifts and move in the right direction, my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit is again linked in the description. This is a great opportunity for you to at least start exploring what it would look like for you to one day reach your goals in your head and in your home. Have you ever noticed the energy your home gives off? A cluttered space can feel heavy, overwhelming, and even stressful, whereas a tidy, organized space often feels lighter and more calming. It's not about having everything perfect, but creating an environment where the energy feels positive. When there's less clutter, it's easier to focus, relax, and actually enjoy your space, while on the other hand, when clutter piles up, it starts to drain you, make you feel overwhelmed, like you have a never-ending to-do list, and it's harder to keep up with daily tasks. It's all about balance. You need to keep the clutter in check so your home doesn't get out of control and feel overwhelming. You want your home to feel welcoming so your energy stays positive. Thank you so much for cleaning and resetting with me today. I hope my story and the tips I shared help you feel inspired and motivated to tackle your own home, even if cleaning doesn't come naturally to you. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about creating a space that works for you and your family. If you're ready to take the next steps in your decluttering journey, don't forget to grab your free decluttering checklist and check out my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit, which will help you create a plan that fits your life. Both the checklist and the toolkit are available using the link in the description. Again, thank you so much for being here, watching, and spending some time with me today. Make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe for more weekly cleaning and decluttering motivation. I'll see you next time, and don't forget, keep moving forward and maintaining that balance in your home. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into a realistic laundry reset because, let's face it, as a mom, the laundry never ends. I know this can feel like a never-ending task, but that's where my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit comes in. One of the worksheets I'll be using today is all about breaking down those overwhelming tasks and making them feel more manageable. Whether you're cleaning alongside me or just looking for some motivation, don't worry, I've got you covered. And if you want a sneak peek into my toolkit, make sure you stick around and let's tackle this laundry together. All right, here's the reality. Laundry everywhere, piles in every corner, in every room. I didn't show you the laundry that's piled up in my bathroom, but trust me, there was a pile of laundry in that room as well, and normally I do have a little bit of help keeping it in check. I love the laundry service Poplin. I use it for my kids' clothes. I use it for mine and Rob's clothes. I don't use it for sheets or towels or blankets. It's just nice having help with those smaller items that need to be folded and put away that are so time consuming, and to me, it's so reasonably priced, especially considering how much time it saves me. It's made me feel thankful and grateful that I even have this option available to me because it really does free up so much time. You don't even realize how much time you spend on laundry alone. And I'm somebody that firmly believes that you should not have to do it all yourself. If you can get help, you deserve help in the areas that you need help in. For me, that is laundry. I am always behind on laundry. As a homeschooling mom, as a business owner, as a family of 6, the laundry is just never ending, and that is where I choose to have my help. So today I'm starting by gathering all the laundry, sorting through the mess, and getting the process going. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, but today I'm going to talk about how you break this down into small, manageable steps so it doesn't feel like a mountain to climb. And with the help of my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit, which is not available yet, but if you've downloaded my decluttering checklist, which is linked in the description, you'll get early access and a special launch deal to my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit, which includes one of the worksheets I'm going to be using in today's video, so stick around because I'll share more on that as we go. Between laundry and everything else, it's so easy to feel like I'm always playing catch up, but honestly, sometimes it's nice to just let the mess be. It's okay not to have everything perfectly in place at all times. As moms, we juggle so many things as it is. It's all about progress, not perfection. I promise you, there will always be things to do. But what's really important is sometimes just letting it be so you can do other things and enjoy your life, your family, your kids, whatever you would like to enjoy. I know there are some people who, for example, simply cannot go to bed if their house is a mess or if the dishes are not done. And while I love that that works for them and they feel the need to do all of that, I am just not that type of person. I do not get excited about cleaning, so I cannot relate to that. If it were up to me, I would just play with my kids all day, lay out by the pool, cook and bake. Those are the things I love to do. Cleaning does not make that that list, so I have had to put systems in place that help me along the way. I've had these systems in place for a while, and I didn't even realize that there was structure to my systems until I really started to dig deeper and understand some of the comments I was getting here on my channel. I really wanted to understand what you were struggling with most. And I was responding to these comments one by one. Some would say, how do you do this? How do you get started? How do you clean like this as a mom of 4 little ones? Somebody recently commented and said they started to declutter, they put everything in the middle of their room, and then they lost all motivation and laid down on the pile. And their question was, how do I keep going after motivation is lost? And trust me, I can totally relate to that. But I had all of these questions being asked, and I was answering them one by one. But while answering them, I realized I really do have a system and a structure in place that helps me move forward with progress, not perfection. I am not looking for a Pinterest perfect home. I'm looking to have a home that is comfortable for my family and I. This is why I originally created my free step-by-step decluttering checklist. You can grab it using the link in the description. This checklist is not just your one-page check items off of a list type of checklist. This checklist is 4 pages long, and it's meant to guide you through the whole decluttering process and make a real difference helping you move forward. Since creating this checklist, I've had over 500 downloads of it and have only received positive feedback so far. If you do choose to download it, I would love your feedback, positive, negative, in between. Let me know what you think about it. Your feedback or constructive criticism is so important to me because my goal is to help you, and I can do that best with your feedback. Because the decluttering checklist has gone so well and the feedback has been so positive, there was one thing that I've heard a few times is some wanted a little bit more. Because of this, I decided to expand a little bit and create a quick start decluttering toolkit. This toolkit includes 6 worksheets that go through emotion, direction, beliefs, reflection, practical action, and quick momentum. They're interactive and they're really meant to get you thinking on a deeper level about your goals, your why, how you got to where you are today, your habits, your mindset, and really help move you forward in the direction that you want to go. If this sounds like something that would help you, make sure you download the decluttering checklist linked in the description. Once you've downloaded the decluttering checklist, you will automatically be granted early access to the toolkit, plus get a special launch offer that will only be available for a select number of people. So you don't want to miss out. I am so excited about this, and I hope you are too. While I was doing the laundry, I had a few other things I needed to get done this morning, so rather than folding what came out of the dryer right away, I actually washed a few loads first, then came back and started folding everything. I don't even know exactly how many loads of laundry I did in this video. I'm sure you could go through and count them, but it took a long time. It took me 2 full days of washing, drying, folding, and putting away to get through everything. Of course, while handling your typical mom duties, and I also had this pile of already washed laundry, mostly towels, in my bedroom. There were also quite a few sheets there, but I took them out into the hallway to fold because Adeline was sleeping in my room and she wakes so easily now for some reason. So rather than risking waking her, I decided to do it in the hallway so I could maximize this nap time and get as much done as possible. I want to note real quick because I know it really bothers some that I fold our laundry on the ground. After sorting through the dirty laundry, I did vacuum the area before putting our clean laundry here. I'm sure that doesn't make a difference to you. I'm still folding the clean laundry on the ground, but I thought it was worth mentioning. I love all of my Bloom towels, microfiber dish towels. They are so big, absorbent, and cute. As you can see, I don't pack them away per season. I'm sure I should, but I have all seasons here because I go through so many of them and it really just doesn't bother me. But I do have a code. I'll put it up on screen here. You can get 15% off with my code Becky15. This is starting day 2, and I know I mentioned earlier that I used one of my worksheets in my toolkit to do this laundry. The worksheet I used is my 1-room reset plan. Sometimes 1 room is all you need to feel a little lighter. And though I'm not focusing on 1 room today, one thing this worksheet did for me to help me move in the right direction is it helped me focus on what was bothering me the most. So the room that was bothering me the most was my primary bedroom. Then I looked at what about this room is bothering me the most. Is it the cluttered floor? Are there overflowing surfaces? Are there piles with no home? What about this room needs to be fixed so it can be good enough? Like I've said, I'm not going for perfectionism here. I'm going for good enough. I'm going for progress over perfection. I want to feel supported, calm, clear-headed. That is what I'm looking to feel when I go into my bedroom. So what do I need to do to get there? Right away, I noticed all of the laundry. So this is visual clutter that needed to be taken care of. Then I quickly realized that it wasn't really the bedroom that was bothering me, it was all of the laundry all over the place. This made me kind of shift gears here, and rather than focusing on my bedroom alone, I focused on only the laundry. So these worksheets are meant to be thought starters. So similar to how this made me kind of shift my focus, the worksheets are meant to help pinpoint the problem and help you move in the direction you want to go to help you reach your goals. So I thought to myself, what are 3 things that I can do right now to help me not feel so overwhelmed by all of this laundry? Those 3 things were switch the laundry and put in a new load, gather all the laundry from everywhere and put it in the hallway, and sort through that laundry making loads that were easy to just toss right in the washer. This not only made my bedroom and other rooms already feel better, but it also gave me some forward momentum. I used to be somebody that just threw all of my laundry in the washer no matter what it was, all willy-nilly. Then I would have to sort it when it came out, which I feel like makes the hardest part of laundry even harder and take even longer. Now I sort beforehand because as a family of 6, it's so much easier for me to just take the clothes out of the dryer and put them where they belong. And if you think about it, we don't put our dirty clothes together in the first place, so combining them in the washer only to re-separate them makes no sense. This is especially useful with the kids' clothes, so for Hazel, for example, I will just take her dirty laundry basket, make sure all of her socks are the right way, and just put everything else in the washer. Even though it's usually a smaller load, it makes it easier to dry it, put it back in her clean basket, and put the basket in her room for her to put away. I'm also not somebody who just dumps all of the dirty laundry in the washer. I know there are a few, and I'm sure that makes it pretty easy, but I always make sure things aren't balled up. I always make sure socks are the right way so they can be cleaned properly. I want to empty pockets. That's pretty much why I sort through all of the clothes before putting them in the washer, just to make sure everything is washed effectively. I know this video might feel repetitive, load after load, fold after fold, but isn't that the reality of being a mom? The same tasks day in and day out, but you know what? There's something really comforting in that repetition. It's not about doing everything once and being done, it's about consistency and routine. That keeps everything moving. And honestly, that's what makes me kind of stay on track, even when I feel like I'm just going in circles. And of course, I fall off track. Everybody falls off track, and that's where it's important to give yourself some grace and know that you are doing the best job that you can do. That is why my checklist and my toolkit is never about perfection. It's about getting your space the way you want it to be, and that looks different for everybody. There's no right or wrong, good or bad way to do this. What matters is that you're moving forward to hopefully reach your goal, whatever that goal may be. And I'm going to do everything I can to help you get there. As you can see, each of my kids has their own color-coded collapsible laundry basket. Hazel's is pink, Adeline's is purple, Wyatt's is kind of a peachy orange color, and Noah's is green. This helps keep everything organized. Nobody has to ask who is whose. Everybody knows whose clothes is in which basket. I was pretty much done washing all of the laundry, but this just goes to show you that it's never actually done. All of these socks and bathing suit cover-ups were from the main floor. Then something spilled on my bed sheets, so I had to wash those as well. But like I said, it's never actually done. It's all about consistency, routine, habits, mindset, and also whatever is going on in your life. If you have a newborn and 4 other children, obviously we need to lower the expectations a little bit. Same thing if your whole family is sick or you're pregnant. You just cannot expect too much out of yourself when different seasons of life happen. With social media so prominent in everyone's life, there's so much comparison that happens, and I feel like that really gets in the way of moms doing what works for them and their family. Honestly, who cares if your house is a little bit messy? When it becomes a problem is when there's so much clutter that it affects you mentally, when you feel stressed out and overwhelmed. That's where you don't want it to get, but a little bit of mess. If I walked into another mom's house that was a little bit messy, I would be like, thank goodness it looks just like my house looks all of the time. What I'm hoping to do is help you get out of the clutter so you can be in this space of who cares if it's a little bit messy, because it's not cluttered. It does take time to get there. It can be difficult to get started. Maybe you need a gentle nudge in the right direction, or maybe you need somebody to completely hold your hand along the way. Either way, I will be continuing to build out resources to help you reach your goal and help you be where you want to be. I want you to feel so good in your home. Sometimes, I'll be honest, I want everything to be perfect. I am a perfectionist at heart, which is why sometimes it's so hard for me to just move on and have that good enough mindset. But in reality, things don't always go as planned, and that's okay. Laundry piles up, kids make messes, but it's all a part of life. For example, something I've had to let go of is having the dishwasher loaded the way I like it loaded. Noah and Hazel love helping me with the dishes, and obviously they don't do it exactly like I do it, but in order to have the help, and not only that, it teaches them responsibility, I've had to let go of having it loaded a certain way. What is something you've had to let go of in pursuit of balance? Alright, that is the last load for now. It may have felt like a never-ending cycle, but we made it through, and that's what counts. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about showing up and making progress, no matter how big or small. If you're feeling like your laundry is always getting the best of you, don't forget I'm here to help. You can grab my decluttering checklist if you haven't already, and get early access to my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit when it launches. It's all about giving you the tools to make real progress without the overwhelm. Thank you so much for cleaning along with me, and and spending some time with me today. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more real-life cleaning and decluttering motivation. I will see you next time. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing some whole house cleaning, nothing extreme, just daily tasks that help me stay on top of things as a busy mom of 4. From picking up clutter to wiping down surfaces, it's all about maintaining a clean home without the overwhelm. I am not pretending to have a perfectly clean home. Life with 4 kids is messy. Just take a look at my other videos, but I'm here to show you how small, consistent tasks can make a big difference. So grab your cleaning supplies and let's dive into today's reset. I'm starting in my primary bedroom, picking up clothes, clutter, wiping down surfaces, making the bed, wiping down the mirror, and vacuuming. Once I'm done in here, I'm going to go into the bathroom, grab a few stray clothes off the floor, throw in a load of laundry, and also fold the laundry that's been sitting in the dryer. I have tried so many different cleaning routines in the past and have actually found that it's better to have flexibility over pressure. I don't let the pressure of a strict cleaning routine weigh me down anymore. Instead, I've learned to be flexible with my time and energy, which actually helps me keep the house in a more manageable state. Rather than having that overwhelming feeling of, oh my goodness, there is so much going on today, there is no way I'm going to get to my daily cleaning routine, whatever that may be for that day. That feeling compiles day after day because you're trying to squeeze in these missed routine tasks that you didn't get to. Then you are so overwhelmed because you feel like you are drowning in cleaning, decluttering, and organizing that you told yourself you would do but hasn't been done. This is why I've created tools that focus on flexibility instead of rigidity. My step-by-step decluttering checklist is a great way to get started without the stress of a perfect routine. It's about giving you the structure to tackle what's in front of you without forcing you to stick to a strict schedule or strict timer. I'm not forcing you to be a minimalist, but I am trying to help you reach your goals so you enjoy living in your own home. The Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit is the next step and is designed to help you create a plan that works for your life so you can maintain progress without feeling pressured. It's all about making cleaning and decluttering manageable even in the chaos. Flexibility is the key, and that's exactly what these resources provide. By the way, my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit drops this week, and if you've already downloaded my decluttering checklist, you will already have early access and the opportunity for a special launch deal. If you have not yet downloaded your free step-by-step decluttering checklist but want in on that early access, make sure you click the link in the description below before it's too late. Alright, I'm grabbing those last few pieces of clothing from my bathroom, throwing in a load of laundry, grabbing the sheets out of the dryer, getting those folded, then moving into my bathroom. As I work through creating these realistic, transformational resources, which are specifically created for moms who are tired of starting over again and again like I did for years, I have a big ask of you. I would love it. It would mean so much to me if you would send me an email directly. My email email address is hello@beckyrmoss.com. I will put it up on screen here and also below in the description. I want you to tell me your story. Tell me why you are struggling with cleaning, decluttering, and organizing. Tell me what is going on in your life. Do you think this is affecting you physically, mentally, emotionally? How do you think you got here? Where do you want to be? How does your house feel right now to you, and how do you want it to feel? Like I said, I know this is a big ask, but it would mean the world to me. I know why I struggled with this for so many years, and I know what helped me, and the cause was definitely not laziness. There was a method, there was a structure that I needed to get to in order to change my habits, my mindset, and ultimately my home. Is there still chaos? Absolutely. Go check my previous videos. I am not perfect. I am not trying to be perfect. I think some information is great to an extent, but I'm really not here just to give you information. I want to give you transformation. So what I don't know is your story, and this will help me to understand how to help you achieve your goals. Like I said, send me an email directly to hello@beckyrmoss.com. This is not to be confused with my business inquiries email. Please only use hello@beckyrmoss.com. Just a quick note here I forgot to mention, please understand that these emails are for research purposes only, so I can create more resources that can better serve you. Something I used to worry about so much was perfectionism, but I've learned that it's okay to let go of that need for perfection and just focus on creating a space that feels good to live in. I used to do this really weird thing where I would wait to clean a space until I had enough time to deep clean it too, which ultimately led to it getting extremely messy and making me feel extremely overwhelmed because I was waiting for this perfect moment. And when that perfect moment would finally come, it would take me so long to clean that perfect moment did not last. So I would be right in the middle of deep cleaning this space, which was completely unnecessary to do all of the time. It was like I was constantly in a state of spring cleaning, but because that perfect moment would pass, then I would have to wait until the next perfect moment. You can clearly see the cycle here. Recognizing and breaking that cycle is what took me so long. Had I had someone there helping me along the way, pointing out these things to me and giving me the tools I needed, it would have taken a lot less time. Now I'm vacuuming in the hallway and then moving on to the kids' bathroom. Something I won't be doing in today's video and probably for the foreseeable future unless I'm changing bed sheets or dusting or picking up some odds and ends things, maybe putting away some laundry. I won't be picking up the kids' bedrooms anymore because that is their responsibility. It is a nightly thing we do. I posted a video about a month ago where the kids' rooms were just a complete disaster. And once their spaces get to a point where it's overwhelming to me, I know it has to be overwhelming to them. And that is when I step in. I know things will probably get out of control at some point again. But at this point, it's been about a month and the kids have been successful in maintaining their own spaces. Of course, once in a while, I'll jump in and help them because that is just part of being a mom. But for the most part, I'll be like, okay, kids, time to go clean up your rooms before bed. And there's really no resistance there. Everybody feels so much better when their space is clutter-free. If you've been thinking this whole time, is she using dish soap? Yes, I am. I think dish soap works so well to clean so many different things, and I love this brand BioClean. Not only is it non-toxic, but it's environmentally friendly, so I can feel good about using it pretty much everywhere. If you're looking for a cleaning channel that's going to recommend 5,000 different cleaning products, this is not the one. I have a handful of favorites that I use, and I definitely prefer non-toxic, but there are a few things that I just cannot replace because they work so well. All you'll basically see me carrying around is Sprayway Glass Cleaner, Barkeeper's Friend, Scrub Daddy Power Paste, a DIY multi-surface cleaner of water, vinegar, essential oils, and a few drops of dish soap, a DIY disinfectant of isopropyl alcohol and water, and then of course my BioClean dish soap. When we think about clutter, at least the way I used to think about clutter, our minds often jump straight to the pile of things we no longer need, like old clothes or broken items. But I've learned that everything left out is technically clutter. Even the things we use every day, if they're not in their proper place, they contribute to the feeling of overwhelm and disorganization. Clutter isn't just about too much stuff, it's also about things that don't have a home or aren't where they belong. So the mail that piles up on the counter, or the laundry that sits in the hallway, or the shoes that are left by the door every day. My family probably has about 20 pairs of shoes in my mudroom right now, but all of that adds to the clutter and adds to the mess. It's clearly not about the stuff itself, it's about the mental load it creates when we constantly see things out of place. And I just gave you 3 simple examples, but there are so many things, especially as a family of 6, that are left out each and every day, and each item left out is a subtle reminder that it needs attention, and over time, that can create the feeling of overwhelm. But here's the thing, decluttering doesn't have to mean donating or tossing everything you own. It's about finding a place for the things you use regularly and figuring out a system that works for you. That being said, I feel like it's really important to understand that it's okay if some things are left out. We don't always need to strive for a perfectly organized Instagram-worthy home. If your goal is minimalism or your goal is to have every drawer and every space in your home perfectly organized, I'm afraid I can't help you in that department because that's not my goal. Life is messy and we're all juggling a million things. Some spaces have things out for a while and that's normal. It's okay to have a lived-in home. What matters is that we don't let that mess grow into something bigger and more overwhelming. The goal is not perfection, but creating systems and order where it's needed while also accepting the real-life chaos that comes with daily living. So just remember that decluttering is not just about removing things, it's about creating a space that works for you. Whether you're putting things away, giving them a dedicated home, or deciding to leave a few things out, the focus is on finding what feels good for you and your family. Some things will naturally be out of place for a while, and that's just part of life. We are all just trying to find balance and maintain some sort of order in a world that's anything but tidy. And while I do think overconsumption is a problem, please stop falling for the lie that you need to be a minimalist or that spending 10 minutes a day organizing every single drawer in your home will magically fix your life. If you're anything like me, these are just unrealistic and don't work in my season of life. I have baskets around my house, like the stair basket I just emptied. The point of these baskets is to catch the clutter, so rather than having the clutter spread around, it's contained in a basket that I tackle probably about once a week. Now I'm in the kitchen where I will empty the dishwasher, put the dishes that are in the sink into the dishwasher, wipe down the counters, and clean off the kitchen table. One thing I've learned throughout all of these years of cleaning and decluttering is that our homes are constantly evolving. What works for us one day may not work the next, and that's okay. Life is always in motion, and as things shift, so does our space. And let's not forget that decluttering is not a one-time event. It's something that comes in waves, just like the seasons. Some days things will feel organized and other times they won't. The key is to embrace that it's an ongoing process. It's about cleaning routines and systems that work where you are right now, but it's also about giving yourself grace when things inevitably get messy again. I'm leaving the kids' paintings on the kitchen table because they were still drying, but everything else will be cleared off. We also had this pile of towels on a chair by my kitchen table because we actually just recently, about a month and a half ago, got an in-ground pool installed and it rained, so I brought some towels inside and just plopped them right on this chair, but they need to be washed, so I'm going to head upstairs and throw those in the washer. It's easier for me to fold the laundry with my kids, especially my youngest who is 16 months old, rather than clean the bathroom with her. So while she's napping, instead of folding the laundry that just came out of the dryer, I'm gonna go ahead and clean the bathroom on the main floor. I'm wrapping up today's video finishing up in my bathroom. I'm also going to wipe down the large mirror in my living room. But remember, cleaning doesn't have to be overwhelming. Just a little bit each day makes a big difference. And if you're feeling inspired but not sure where to start, make sure you grab my free step-by-step decluttering checklist linked in the description below. If you've already downloaded the checklist but feel like you need a deeper dive, my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit has everything you need to make a real plan. It will be released this week, and and if you've already downloaded the checklist, you will have early access and a special launch deal. Like I said, that checklist is linked in the description. You can grab it whenever you feel ready to reset your space. Thanks for cleaning with me today, and don't forget to subscribe for more. I will see you next time. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm tackling a realistic home maintenance day with you. We'll be changing sheets, making beds, doing dishes, and folding laundry, all of the things that keep a home running smoothly. I'm also doing a quick closet declutter, letting go of the summer clothes I haven't worn, because if I haven't worn them, I probably don't want or need them anymore. There's no pressure or perfection here, just simple, practical ways to maintain your home and keep your space feeling fresh and organized. Let's get started. My house felt completely out of control for years. Laundry piled up, dishes piled up, there was clutter everywhere. I used to think I wasn't good at staying on top of my home, but I've realized it's not about being perfect. It's about finding systems that actually work for your life. In this video, I'm going to share 3 things that have helped me finally make this shift, plus a little bit of my story so you can see that it is possible to maintain your home even when cleaning, decluttering, and organizing don't come naturally. One of the biggest adjustments for me was setting up simple systems that actually worked for my life. I used to try following strict routines or schedules thinking that was the key, but all it did was create pressure and anxiety. I would print off these routines and schedules that worked for others and try to mold my life to fit these routines and schedules, and it never worked because everybody's life is different. Over time, I realized it wasn't about timing everything perfectly. It was about building small, realistic habits that fit naturally into my day. For example, anytime I'm walking up the stairs, I'll grab a few things that belong up there instead of going empty-handed. It's such a simple change, but it really adds up. Another thing I started doing is using the little pockets of time I have productively. Like when the kids are playing nicely upstairs, I will use that time to fold a load of laundry, start a new load of laundry, pick up the hallway, put the books away. There are so many different ways I can use this time productively rather than thinking, okay, this is great, the kids are playing nicely, I'll just sit down and relax or scroll on my phone. Instead, I see it as an opportunity. I used to think I had to wait until the perfect moment. For example, folding the laundry. I would think I had to wait until I was uninterrupted to be able to fold and put away a load of laundry. I know that sounds crazy, and I don't think I was doing this consciously. It's just what was happening, and I didn't realize it until recently. Once I realized this, I started to notice other things too, and even these small actions make such a big difference now. I really had to dig deep to find out why this was happening. Where was this coming from? How do I change it? Simple surface level changes like routines, schedules, trying to organize one drawer at a time thinking it would change my entire life, pulling everything out to declutter as much as I could, and setting 10-minute timers or 15-minute timers to get me started and motivated just wasn't cutting it. It's about your mindset, your headspace. Where are these habits stemming from? What are you telling yourself about your home? And this is where my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit comes in. It takes you through emotion, direction, beliefs, reflection, practical action, and quick momentum, helping you figure out exactly what's really holding you back and guiding you towards real progress in your home. So the last time I decluttered my closet was not too long ago, but I realized while I was decluttering that if I were to take everything out and really do a good job decluttering the items that I no longer wanted or needed, I would have come very close to running out of things to wear for the season completely. One thing I've learned about my personal style is I definitely tend to lean towards more plain and simple clothing. This is especially true when it comes to my tops. I like plain t-shirts, plain tank tops, plain long sleeve shirts. That's just how I always have been. It's what I'm most comfortable in, and they are all really easy to match. So rather than trying to fit in or change my style, I know that this is always the type of clothes that I keep going back to. So I decided to find some really simple t-shirts on Amazon. I love them. They fit so well. They're inexpensive, especially as a mom. mom of 4 young children, there are constantly messes happening around here, plus I'm cleaning and cooking, and I like to keep all of those factors in mind when I'm buying clothes and when I'm choosing my outfit for the day. Now that I have clothes that I truly feel comfortable and confident in, I'm able to declutter those that I wasn't able to before. This brings me to one of the best closet decluttering tips you're ever going to hear. It may seem obvious, but sometimes it's not, or sometimes you just need someone to give you permission and tell you that it's okay to let go. One thing that you need to let go of in your closet is anything from past seasons that you haven't worn in the last 365 days. Now, there are exceptions to this. If you are pregnant, newly postpartum, nursing, of course you are more limited on what you can wear during those times, but I feel like it's also important to be really honest with yourself if you are decluttering during those times. Do you plan to have more kids? Do you plan to have kids really close together? If the answer is yes, you probably won't go back to those pre-pregnancy clothes anytime soon, if not ever. Styles change, your body changes, you can't hold on to clothes that are from old versions of yourself. And getting rid of them can feel surprisingly emotional because they bring up memories from different times in your life. Maybe it's a style you used to love, or a size you no longer wear, or just things you kept for a life that you're no longer living. Letting go can stir up those feelings, but it's also really freeing. Clearing out these items lightens your closet and your mind. I'll share with you a great way to keep track of the clothes that you have and have not worn throughout the year in just a bit. You just saw me let go of some swimsuits that I haven't worn this season. It feels so freeing to let go of things that I don't need anymore, and now I can enjoy the things that I truly use and love. Having simple systems in place for my home has made such a huge difference. Little habits like putting things back as I go or folding laundry when I have a few spare minutes, it all adds up to a house that's easier to maintain. And since I'm able to maintain my home better, I'm able to spend so much more quality time with my family. One of my favorite summer memories so far is that we finally had our in-ground pool finished at the beginning of the season. It's been amazing to see our family playing together, laughing, and just enjoying real quality family time without screens or distractions. Another one of the biggest shifts that happened for me was letting go of perfection. I realized that a lived-in home doesn't equal a messy home. Messes are going to happen. It's normal, especially as a family of 6. What's important is to keep the mess from becoming out of control and overwhelming. Accepting this allowed me to focus on keeping up with daily chores instead of constantly trying to catch up. What would happen is I would want everything to be perfect, and if I couldn't get it to the point that it was going to be perfect, I wouldn't do anything. And I wouldn't do anything until I had what I thought was the perfect opportunity to do it all. So rather than using small wins to get there or small wins to maintain a space, I would just try to do it all at once, and that never worked. So I stopped stressing about waiting for that perfect moment or having everything perfectly in place, and instead aimed for manageable maintenance. That mindset shift alone drastically reduced my overwhelm and made maintaining my home feel possible even when cleaning, decluttering, and organizing don't come naturally to me. I wanted to share this review I got of my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit that you can find in the description. This was a comment someone left on one of my recent YouTube videos, and it just meant so much to me because my goal is to help you reach your goal in transforming your home so it's somewhere that you want to be. Because we all know where I was. You can go back 5 years ago and see my house in my videos, and I was absolutely drowning in clutter and mess, and I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to get out of it, but now I'm here and I'm out of it, and I've put systems in place that have created lasting change, and I want to help you get there too. So here it is. It's from Dreamer6943. It says, I bought the in-depth clutter guide, and although I'm only on page 2, it's already helped me. I've gotten rid of a few things I was keeping for ages that had survived several previous calls. I was feeling stuck, having done all of the easy wins decluttering over the past few years. Now I'm making progress again. I have hoarding tendencies, so I needed the extra help. I wanted to share that because it's not simply surface level cleaning, decluttering, and organizing tips and tricks. It's more than that. It's meant to dig down deep and figure out where these problems stem from. What are you telling yourself? Why is this happening? What are your habits? And it's meant to help lead you down a path to positive, lasting change. So thank you for leaving that comment, Dreamer6943. I am so happy this toolkit is helping you. I'm just doing a quick tidy in 2 of my kids' rooms right now. They have been so good about keeping up with their spaces. They were playing, and who doesn't love the surprise of walking into a tidy space? It always feels so good. Noah's room was already clean. My kids have a morning routine and an evening routine, and like I said, they've been pretty good about keeping up on their spaces. So Noah's room was already done. Earlier in the video, I told you I would share with you easy ways to determine what you should declutter from your closet. And no, I'm not going to tell you to pull everything out all at once and then decide what you want and what you don't. This is going to be much easier than that, especially if you're just starting out. So what you're going to do is create visual cues in your closet that instantly show you what you're wearing and what you're not. These visual cues won't be the same for everyone because not everybody has the same space or same storage systems, so you can use these and adjust them as you see fit. This first one can be used for pretty much anything that goes in a drawer or in a dresser. So let's use pants for example. What you're going to do is roll all of your pairs of pants. Then as you wear them and as you wash them and put them back away, you're going to fold them regularly. This way you will see within a certain span of time, whether that's a month or a year or 2 years, it's totally up to you. You will very clearly see the pants that you are not wearing and the pants that you are wearing. Once your allotted time has passed, if there are any pants rolled up, it is time to declutter those pants. The same goes for shoes. We want to be able to visually recognize the shoes that you're not wearing so you can declutter them. The simplest way to do this is put all of your shoes with the toes pointed out, and when you put them away after you've worn them, put them away with the toes pointed in so you can clearly see the shoes that you are not wearing because they will all have the toes pointed out. Now, I am not a jewelry person, but if you are a jewelry person and you have lots and you want to declutter it, but you don't know which ones to declutter, you're going to put all of your jewelry towards the back of your jewelry box, or if you have one of those vertical ones, put it all on the bottom, and then when you wear it, move it forward or move it up. This way you can clearly clearly see what you are wearing. I'm going to share two separate ways to do this with your shirts because it really depends on your closet system. So the first way will only work if you have a closet bar in your closet where you can hang your hangers backwards or forwards. If you do, you're going to hang all of your hangers backwards. Then when you wear something, wash it and put it away, you're going to hang the hanger forward. The other way to do this, if you don't have that option and your hangers only hang one way in your closet, this is a little more tedious, but you can hang all of your shirts the same way, and then when you wear them and put them back, hang them the opposite way. This works across so many different categories, and it works for many reasons, including it takes the guesswork out of decisions, it creates accountability without effort, it highlights real habits, and it reduces overwhelm. And not only all of that, you're not changing any of your habits that are already in place to get this decluttering done. You can even be like I used to be and think you need the perfect uninterrupted time to fold your laundry, so it sits there and sits there until you end up with a mountain of laundry that needs to be folded, and you would still be successful with this closet decluttering tip because you can clearly see what you are wearing and what you are not wearing. Of course, the goal here is to change those habits if you do let your laundry pile up like I used to, but I do understand that change takes time. I just hope I can speed up that process for you. And just know that once the closet decluttering is done, this laundry piling up situation will not happen as often. And hopefully together we can break that cycle completely. The final mindset habit I want to focus on is learning to declutter with intention instead of guilt. For the longest time, and I'm talking years, I held on to clothes, shoes, toys for my kids, baby items, you name it, I probably held on to it for way longer than I should have. I always thought that I might use them someday, or maybe I kept something because it reminded me of a past version of myself or a memory of my kids. But the truth is, if I'm not actually wearing it or loving it right now, keeping it just creates clutter and stress. I started being honest with myself about what I truly use, what I actually enjoy, and what actually fits my life today. I am not a minimalist, and I am certainly not pushing you to be a minimalist either, because that is not my goal. But focusing on what matters and letting go of the rest has made organizing and maintaining my home feel realistic instead of impossible. It's not about perfection, and it's not about guilt, it's about being intentional, making choices that serve you now, and finally having a space that works for your life. Although decluttering is a never-ending task because your life evolves, your children grow, decluttering will never actually completely end, but you can get to a point where it's manageable. I would say I've gotten to this manageable state in the main part of my home, but I too am still a work in progress. You should see my basement. Thankfully, at this point, I would consider myself a decluttering expert. I've been doing it for years. At this point, I have pretty much mastered the art of decision making when it comes to decluttering and deciding what needs to be kept and what doesn't. Now, if you're striving to be a minimalist, this obviously looks a lot different for you than it does for me. My goal is simply to have a home that is easy to maintain. And based on the strategies that I've learned over the years, I know that I can help you get there too. As you can see in the background, we just had groceries delivered. We were preparing for my daughter's 6th birthday. She wanted to have a pool party, and we ended up having almost 25 kids here. It was so much fun. She had a blast. I did share some photos on my community tab, but after I was done doing these daily chores, I unpacked all of our groceries and started with the food prep for Hazel's party. Now that I'm able to keep my home more maintained, when groceries get delivered or I have other things going on that I need to focus on, it makes me feel so much less stressed because my house isn't a disaster on top of it. One thing I've wanted to do for years but felt like I couldn't because I couldn't even keep up with my house was make bread. I want to make our own bread and sourdough. I also wanted to be able to make over spaces in my home without feeling like the rest of my house was falling apart. And not to mention, I wanted to feel like I could have people over my house without frantically cleaning before they came here. Now that I'm actually able to maintain my home, I feel like I'm able to focus on some of the things that I really love and wanted to do. I love cooking and baking, and I finally have the freedom to focus on something else without feeling like my house is suffering. If having more freedom in your day resonates with you, this is where my toolkit can help you. It'll guide you in creating systems and habits that make maintaining your home manageable. This way you can spend less time stressed about clutter and more time focused on things you truly enjoy. Rob came home from work on this day with some flowers and a balloon for Hazel's birthday. He does this every year. I think it's so adorable. So I'm going to take some time and put them in a vase for her. I think the cutest vase is just a simple large mason jar. For some reason, I love that look. We even use the smaller mason jars for cups. They're inexpensive, especially with kids. Anything can happen and they are easily replaceable without costing a fortune. I mentioned that Hazel had a pool party this year for her birthday, but we also started a new tradition. It's pretty significant and it just started with Hazel because she could not decide what she wanted for her birthday. When I asked her what she wanted for her birthday, she said she already has everything she wants, and we started to think to ourselves, why would we add more stuff to the house when she doesn't even want anything? So rather than giving her pointless things that she doesn't even want, we decided to give her our time. This was special time just for her with Rob and I without her siblings. As a large family, this is so important and she was so excited about this. And not only was she excited, the other kids were excited for their birthdays when they come too. This just goes to show you how pointless things can be and how much more quality time and memories mean. Anyway, thank you so much for being here and watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some motivation and inspiration from it and made you feel like maintaining your home is something attainable for you too. Thanks again for being here and watching. I will see you in the next one. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing some cleaning and it's that time of the year again to do some seasonal decluttering of my kids' clothes, while at the same time sharing some rhythms and flow to make your home feel more manageable and less overwhelming. If you have some seasonal decluttering that you want to check off your to-do list, let's get it done together. I'm starting today in my primary bedroom, and as you can see, it's a bit messy, so the first thing I'm doing is just picking everything up. Then I'll be making my bed and folding a load of laundry. Laundry is one of those things I feel like I am constantly doing, so a good way for me to get going, especially when I will be decluttering clothes, is to get started on some laundry. That might be folding and putting away. Maybe I will throw some in the washer or switch over the laundry from the washer to the dryer, or maybe all three. Laundry is just one of those chores that is never ending, so it's always good to have a continuous flow here. In fact, laundry and dishes are two chores that I never have on my to-do list because I'm always looking for small opportunities each day to get some of these two chores done no matter what. As a work-at-home homeschooling mom with 4 kids 7 and under, it is impossible to keep a perfect home 100% of the time. In my opinion, it should never be about perfection. It should be about progress and keeping your home manageable so it doesn't get out of control. And as somebody who is not a naturally clean and organized person myself, it has taken me years to find a system that actually worked for me without stressing me out more, giving me anxiety, making me feel like I was losing my patience, and making me feel like I was falling behind and failing even more. My system is built on my own lived transformation and reset method. It's for moms who are ready to finally get unstuck and create a manageable, lighter home that you can actually maintain. At its core, it combines mindset, motivation, and method, showing that decluttering and resetting a home is more than just surface level organization. It's about shifting habits, creating rhythms, and building a space that supports your family rather than drains it. If this sounds like it could help you maintain a calmer, more peaceful home, you can check out the resources linked in the description. This is probably kind of funny, but towels, sheets, and blankets are my favorite things to fold. There's no separating or anything, you just fold them the same way, stack them, and put them away. You don't need to worry about putting them away in different drawers, hanging them up, or anything. It's just so simple and easy. After I was done folding the towels, I still had one more laundry basket I needed to get through. It had some shirts to be hung up, a couple of sheets, and some socks. But before I go through all of that, I really wanted to throw a load of my kids' clothes in the washer. Since I will be decluttering all of my kids' clothes, my 7-year-old son, 6-year-old daughter, 4-year-old son, and 1-year-old daughter, I feel like it makes it so much easier to declutter their clothes if they are all clean. So you have everything right in front of you and you make sure to declutter everything all at once. That way there's not some lingering laundry that is a size too small and you didn't get to it because it was still in the wash. This way everything is right in front of you and you can go through it once and get it over with. One of the best reasons for keeping up with laundry on a daily basis, and by keeping up, I certainly don't mean getting it done every day. I just mean doing a little bit each day so it doesn't pile up to a point that is overwhelming. But by doing this, you avoid getting yourself into a situation where you may feel behind again. For example, last week, for various reasons, one being I co-sleep with my 1-year-old and her diaper was leaky. Another one was my daughter woke up and I had chocolate milk on my bedside table that she had grabbed and dumped out all over the bed. So for reasons like this, I had to change and wash my entire bedding last week 3 separate times. Of course, this is not a normal circumstance, but this happened 3 days in a row, and I could only imagine what it would have felt like if I was already behind on my laundry and then this kept happening. I would feel stressed out and defeated and just like it was never ending. But because I'm able to have this flow with my laundry, now it wasn't that big of a deal. As an overwhelmed mom, if you put this system into your home and into your life, the best time that you will notice a true transformation is when something like this happens. Usually it's pretty easy to get going, but the hard part is staying focused and actually making it a rhythm rather than a routine. Routines are rigid, but if you stick to a rhythm, rhythms are flexible. Rhythms are meant to go with the flow. If something goes wrong, it's not the end of the world because you just put it in flow with your rhythm. As you can see, I've started to declutter my 6-year-old Hazel's closet. She had a lot of clothes in here that were too small for her. I actually didn't buy her any new summer clothes this past summer. The year prior, I had bought her clothes that were slightly too big for her, so it worked out really nice because she really didn't need much this year. Of course, we replaced things as needed. She needed some new shorts and she outgrew her shoes, but for the most part, we really didn't need a whole closet full of seasonal items, which was really nice. That was not the case this season. She needed pretty much everything new. She needed some new t-shirts that fit her. I got her a couple of long sleeve shirts, dresses, and quite a few pairs of leggings. She's pretty picky about the clothes she wears, so everything is very similar, but it's just her style. I also had to grab a couple pairs of shorts and skirts because they were marking them down on clearance while I was at Target, so everything was fully stocked. I think I may have grabbed 3 or 4 pairs of shorts and 2 skirts. They were only like $3 or $3.50 each, which was amazing. And of course, when I did this, it's really important to think about the size she is going to be next summer. So I just got her size small. Right now, she is also in size small leggings, but the shorts were slightly too big, which is perfect for now. I thought this was so funny. It just goes to show you how long shorts can last on kids. Hazel, my 6-year-old, had a size 2T shorts in her shorts drawer. After taking the clothes that are either too small, damaged with stains or rips out of the closet, I'm going through each piece of clothing individually, deciding on what I should keep for Adeline, my 1-year-old, or what I should toss. I'm only tossing the items that are either ripped in really bad condition or stained really, really badly. I'm not going to donate anything because, like I said, I do have a 1-year-old daughter and my kids think it is so much fun to get hand-me-downs. I just got out hand-me-downs for my 4-year-old son in my last video, and when I took the clothes out, both he and my older son were like, "Oh my gosh, that's so funny that you used to wear this." So I love that for my kids. At this point, I've decided what I'm keeping and what I'm tossing, and I'm packing away those that I am keeping into a storage container. And as I just said, I already did this for my 4-year-old son in last week's video. I decluttered everything in his closet and brought up the hand-me-downs from my older son. I went through everything and kept what I thought we needed to keep and got rid of anything we didn't need. I had one of the most meaningful conversations last week with a mom who applied to my program, the Reset Method. On our consultation call, she mentioned just wanting to feel like she's not sinking anymore, and I can totally relate to that, and I feel like many moms can relate. At no point in a mom's day does nothing else need to be done, and that weight alone can feel overwhelming. An example she gave was of her laundry and never feeling like anything was ever getting done. There was no routine, laundry was piled up, and when she did try to stick to a routine, her family would kind of throw off the routine, not remember which day was theirs, and then of course the cycle repeats itself and you try to find a new routine or a new schedule. But the truth is that will never work, because now not only are you shifting from having to do all of the laundry yourself, but you're also adding another layer of having to remind your family of this new routine. What usually ends up happening here is the routine falls apart, and then mom feels frustrated because nobody wanted to help out and follow this new routine when she was trying to make it a little smoother and make the home feel a little more organized. And since this new routine wasn't followed, sheets and blankets start piling up, towels start piling up, then you have the big mountain of laundry again. This is a cycle that many moms find ourselves in, and it's important to realize that a strict routine doesn't work for every family. If a strict routine doesn't work for your family, stick to rhythms. Tie tasks into natural parts of your day, reset when things slip, and allow for flexibility. Sometimes all it takes is for someone to be like, "Hey, guess what? You are actually not behind. We need to break the cycle of analysis paralysis and just move forward with a mindset of progress, not perfection." As a mom of 4, I know that sometimes it's harder to get children to stick to a routine because they have been doing something one way their entire life. So trying to get them especially to start, for example, washing, drying, folding, and putting away their laundry on a single day can be a lot for them until they build small habits. So instead of relying on big routines and big schedules, even though this laundry routine doesn't seem that big to a child, it can be a big change. And as much as we as moms would love the help without having to ask or remind, sometimes no matter what systems we try, the truth is it might fall on mom. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong, it means you're living real life with real kids. And I'm not talking about the chore falling on mom, I'm talking about the guidance and the leadership and the reminders might fall on mom's shoulders to help build build these positive habits. Sometimes it's easier to start with tiny things like, hey, can you switch the laundry over from the washer to the dryer? Then naturally, while your child is helping contribute to your family, they might be like, oh wow, this is a great time for me to do my own laundry. And maybe this needs a little encouragement, like, hey, this is a great time for you to do your own laundry too. Now, not only are you sticking to rhythms and a flow that works for you, but you're helping your children find rhythms as well. The goal is to eventually get to a point where your child notices that the laundry needs to be changed over, they change the laundry over and put their own laundry in the washer too. Of course, this comes in time and with patience, but you can do this with everything. This is called habit stacking. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's where you stack habits onto things that you are already naturally doing. You can see we've moved on to my oldest son, Noah's room. His room is already very clean. I just wanted to make his bed for him. Then I'm going to fold his clean clothes, get those put away, and take the tags off of all of the new clothes and get those washed. Noah has already gone through his closet and decluttered everything that he no longer wants or needs. All of those clothing items are in the hallway, and I will go through those to decide which ones we are keeping for Wyatt and which ones we are getting rid of. Like I mentioned previously, the only ones we should be getting rid of are those that are not in good condition any longer. I'm going through Adeline's clothes last. She is my 18-month-old, and babies grow so quickly, so I find myself going through her clothes most frequently. It has been a while though, so I'm going to have lots of clothes to declutter out of my closet for her. I also brought up Hazel's 18-month clothes from the basement not too long ago. I got those washed. I just have not put them away yet because I was waiting for this moment in order to declutter everything, then get those put away. So first I'm going to declutter everything and make sure she only has the right size available to her. Then I'm going to get everything put away. I often get the question, does Adeline have her own room? Right now the answer is no. My husband and I decided, just like with each of our kids, to co-sleep, and it was just easier if all of her stuff was in our room as well. Very soon we are going to make the transition, moving Adeline into Hazel's room. They are going to share a bedroom, but before I do that, I want to make over the space to make sure it fits both girls' personalities, and at the same time make sure Hazel feels special and not like she's losing out on her own space, but rather gaining a special space with her sister. The good news is Hazel is already really looking forward to sharing a room with Adeline. Last thing I'm going to do is go through all of the clothes in the hallway, make sure those that I'm getting rid of are discarded and those that I'm packing away are put in the basement, and just clean up this area after doing all of this decluttering. Thank you so much for being here and watching and spending part of your day with me. I hope you got some cleaning and decluttering motivation from today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you do feel like you need more resources to start your own decluttering journey, you can click the link in the description below. Thanks again for watching. I will see you in the next one. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing some daily cleaning. I'm also sharing how I maintain my home with 4 young kids. And I'm going to show you how I approach my daily home resets with a calmer, more intentional mindset. I'll share how slowing down, staying calm, and involving my kids has made maintaining our home so much more manageable and even enjoyable at times. If you have something that needs to get done today, let's get it done together. Keeping up with a home and 4 young kids can feel overwhelming at times. I used to rush through every task, feeling panicked, stressed, and frustrated, like everything had to get done perfectly and immediately. But over time, I realized that living in a home doesn't have to feel like a race, and that daily tasks, like picking up, making beds, changing sheets, and doing laundry don't need to be a source of stress. If cleaning, decluttering, and organizing don't come naturally to you, don't worry, because they don't come naturally to me either. But there are small mindset habits and practical things you can do in your own life that will make slowing down, staying calm, and maintaining your home easier. If you think you need some extra guidance rather than just a motivating cleaning video, I do have a free decluttering checklist that can help you tackle those overwhelming areas in your home. Plus, my program is now open for enrollment by application only for moms who are ready to take a deeper step towards long-term transformation. But today we're keeping it simple, just focusing on real-life daily home habits. The first thing I want to talk about is rage cleaning. I'm sure you've heard of rage cleaning. I want to talk about what this looks like in daily life and why moms feel this pressure. Rage cleaning, if you don't know what it is that frantic, high energy, almost aggressive cleaning when you feel like you have to get everything done immediately. It often comes with stress, guilt, frustration, even frustration with those around you, almost like you're racing against the clock and you're mad about it. Someone brought this to my attention many months ago, and I didn't even realize that I was doing this, and I feel like many of us don't realize we're doing it until we notice the tension in our bodies, the fast movement, or the stress buildup while we clean. The reason moms feel this pressure is multifaceted, between societal expectations, comparison to others, perfectionism, or just the overwhelm of juggling multiple tasks and kids at once. Even tasks that are normally simple, like vacuuming or doing dishes, can become stressful if approached in a rushed, high-pressure way. The good news is this rage cleaning habit can be broken. By noticing it, slowing down, and reframing daily tasks as manageable steps rather than a race, we can maintain our home efficiently without the stress or overwhelm. So the next time you notice yourself aggressively vacuuming or wiping a surface really fast or hard, or maybe you're just picking some stuff up and your heart is racing, take a second, notice it, and slow down. Even if you actually have to physically take a step back, go outside for a second, take a deep breath, really take a second to realize what was going on and recognize that moms do not need to be in panic mode 100% of the time. Once you've recognized this and brought your stress level back down, you can continue doing the task you were doing in a more peaceful way. Doing this over and over and over again will build this habit, and eventually when you do daily tasks, you won't feel that panic, that stress, and overwhelm that you once did. When we feel panicked or rushed while doing everyday tasks, whether it's folding laundry, picking up toys, or even cooking, it's easy to assume that we're getting things done faster, but in reality, that sense of urgency often slows us down. When your mind is stressed, you're less focused, more prone to mistakes, and you might even redo tasks because they weren't done thoroughly the first time. Have you ever found yourself moving from task to task and never actually getting anything done, never really having forward progress, just kind of walking around your house doing one little tiny thing at a time and then getting distracted and starting something new? For example, let's say I started cleaning a bedroom and I found some dishes, so I took those dishes to the sink and then started doing the dishes. While I'm doing the dishes, I notice a dirty dish towel, so I take that dirty dish towel up to the laundry room and start a load of laundry. While starting a load of laundry, I'm going through pockets and I find some toys in one of my kids' pockets. So I take those toys to the playroom, where I notice the playroom is a disaster, so I start to clean the playroom. As you can see, this is a never-ending cycle and never really makes significant progress. I have certainly done this in my own home, and I notice when I try to clean aggressively or when I notice myself rage cleaning, it feels exhausting and the results aren't any better than when I approached the tasks calmly. The key here is slowing down, being intentional, and focusing on one thing at a time. When you do this, things actually get done more efficiently and it feels less overwhelming. One of the biggest lessons I've learned as a mom, which has actually gotten easier with each child because I feel like my patience has grown tremendously, is about teaching real life skills that will serve them long term. When my kids help with folding laundry, putting away toys, or wiping counters, they're learning responsibility, organization, and how to contribute to the household and our shared space. If this is difficult for you, I totally understand because yes, it's slower. It can feel frustrating at first when tasks take longer or don't look perfect, but that's actually a good thing. Life is not meant to be in a hurry. The moments that feel slower are the ones where kids learn, where connection happens, and where you can model calmness and consistency. When we embrace the slower pace, it shifts our perspective. Efficiency isn't about speed, it's about teaching, guiding, and creating systems that work for everyone in the home. Including kids also helps them feel valued as part of the family's daily rhythm. They see that maintaining a home isn't just a mom's job, it's a shared responsibility. And over time, these lessons can make future chores easier because the skills are already embedded in their habits. One of the biggest changes that made maintaining my home feel manageable was shifting my mindset from catching up to keeping up. For years, I felt like I was always behind. Laundry piles, dishes in the sink, toys all over the floor. It was overwhelming because I was constantly trying to recover from messes instead of maintaining them as they happened. When I started thinking about keeping up instead of catching up, everything changed. The goal isn't to have a perfectly clean house, it's to stay on top of daily tasks so the mess doesn't grow into something unmanageable. Making small, consistent choices, for example, wiping down the counters while you're cooking instead of after, like I used to do, can keep the house in a state that's easier to manage. Now, as a mom of 4 kids, 7 and under, I understand that this is not always possible. Sometimes doing one load of laundry, folding it, and putting away all in the same time period is just not realistic. Sometimes you have to stop doing the dishes right in the middle of doing them and not finish until later on in the day. The goal, however, is to do what you can when you can instead of waiting until you know you can finish the whole task. What I have found, if I'm like, okay, I will get the dishes done during nap time. When nap time comes around, sometimes it's a little more difficult to put my youngest down for her nap, or maybe her nap is extra short that day. Then I end up feeling frustrated that I had planned on doing the dishes during her nap and it didn't work out because I have waited all day until this one time to get this task done. Once that time came, I was interrupted and now I'm back to square one, planning on the next time I will be able to do this. As a mom, you have to be flexible and do things when you can. For example, I might find myself folding laundry upstairs when all of the kids are playing nicely in their rooms. Even if I don't finish, I at least make progress. All of these small wins add up to something bigger and take the panic and frustration out of daily chores. When you're focused on keeping up rather than trying to fix everything, it feels so much calmer and achievable. You start to see progress in real time instead of feeling like you're constantly failing and falling behind. If you constantly feel like you're struggling to keep up with your home or always falling behind, this mindset is a game changer. If you feel like you need extra support and guidance on changing your mindset, you can check the link in my description for my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit. It's an interactive toolkit to help you move through the hurdles and help you make progress. This toolkit is only available until December 31st, 2025. After that, it will only be available inside my program, so make sure you grab it while it is still available on its own. And as I mentioned previously, enrollment for my program has begun and is by application only. If you are accepted into the program before it begins January 1st, 2026, you will be a founding member and have founding member benefits. As a founding member, not only will you get the lowest price the program will ever be, but also the most flexible payment plan. On top of that, you will have lifetime access as long as the program is up and running to all weekly calls and the community space. As a founding member, you will help me shape the Reset Method program, and because of that, spots are very, very limited. So if you are an overwhelmed mom who wants to take control of her home and her mindset without feeling stressed, rushed, or guilty, this program is designed for you and is here to give you transformation, not information. I hope we can work together so I can support you and guide you from feeling behind and chaotic to maintaining a home that supports your life and your family. If you think you would be a good fit for this program, you can apply using the link in the description. Sometimes when I'm doing different chores around my home, you'll notice that I have my AirPods in. I used to like listening to upbeat music to get me going and get me motivated, but I started to notice that listening to this upbeat music kind of made me feel more panicked, anxious, and overwhelmed than I already was from the state of my home. Don't get me wrong, I still like listening to my music here and there, but when I'm doing chores around my home, I actually prefer to listen to audiobooks or podcasts, just something calm in the background that I enjoy listening to. I never have my noise cancellation on, so I'm always listening to everything around me, but it makes what I'm doing more enjoyable and feel less overwhelming. I feel like there's value in music or background noise to set a slower pace. When you're doing daily tasks, it's easy to fall into that rushed, panicked rhythm, especially if you feel behind or stressed already. The simplest way to naturally slow down is by adding some calming music, or like I do, an audiobook or a podcast that you enjoy, just some gentle background noise while you work. This can help your mind relax, it can reduce tension in your movements, and encourages you to focus on one task at a time rather than rushing through everything. I think one of the most important things to recognize is that you need to accept that mess happens and that's okay. One of the biggest mental blocks for moms is thinking that a messy home means they've failed. No mom wants to have unexpected guests and have to apologize because their home is actually messy. I'm not talking about a little bit messy, I'm talking about a real mess. I've learned that mess is a natural part of life, especially with kids. Accepting that things will get out of place sometimes takes a huge weight off your shoulders. It allows you to focus on maintaining your home in a realistic way rather than constantly feeling like you're behind or punishing yourself for what hasn't been done. When you accept that mess is temporary and normal, you stop getting caught in the cycle of frustration and panic. Instead, you start seeing your home as a living space, not a display, and that mindset alone makes cleaning, decluttering, and organizing feel so much more manageable. It also opens the door to creating systems that support rather than overwhelm you. When you put all of these ideas together, staying calm while doing daily tasks, involving your kids in a way that slows you down for the better, shifting from catching up to keeping up, and accepting that mess happens, you create a completely different experience in your home. These habits aren't about doing more or doing perfectly. They're about making every day feel manageable, realistic, and even a little freeing. When you approach your home with intention and a calmer mindset, you reduce stress, move more efficiently, and build a system that works for your life. Over time, this makes maintaining a home feel less overwhelming and gives you the mental space to focus on the parts of life you actually enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found today's video motivating and helpful. Make sure you check out the link in the description to download your free decluttering checklist, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome back. Today I am deep cleaning, decluttering, and organizing my laundry room. This space was a complete disaster and desperately needed a major transformation. Today I'm finally tackling that space. This is one of those areas for me that just got pushed down the priority list while life kept moving, and honestly, it shows. If you've ever had a space like that where the mess builds up quietly, then suddenly it feels too overwhelming to even start, I want you to know that you're not alone. In fact, this is totally normal, especially as a busy mom, so today we're giving this space the reset it deserves. No shame, no guilt, just real life and real progress. If you're excited for this transformation and want to see more like it, make sure you subscribe and let's do this. Every mom, no matter how put together she looks online, has a space that's been pushed to the bottom of the priority list. Sometimes it's the laundry room, like me, the garage, a closet, or a junk drawer. It doesn't mean you're lazy, it just means you've been busy doing life. This room became my I'll deal with it later zone, and later just kept getting pushed. It can be so hard to get started in these spaces because they carry emotional weight, whether it's guilt, overwhelm, shame, or even resentment. It's not just about the stuff. It's about the mental clutter it represents. And the longer it sits, the more we believe the lie, I should have kept up with this, I am so behind. You start to tell yourself it's not just the messy room, it's what the mess starts to say about you, and those thoughts just are not true. Thinking those thoughts assumes that you have failed instead of lived. It assumes that there's a schedule you are supposed to follow. It attaches your identity to the mess. There's a little voice saying, look at this, what's wrong with you? But that's shame talking. That is not truth. The truth is, the mess is not a reflection of your value. It's just a moment, and it's one you're already changing by getting some motivation from this video to get started. If simply watching a video doesn't give you the push you need to get started and you're still feeling overwhelmed by the clutter in your home, I do have a free step-by-step checklist you can grab. It's linked below, and it's not just, I'm going to say, a pointless one-page checklist that does nothing. It's really meant to help you know where to start, to guide you step by step along the way so you can make some real progress in attaining your goal. If this is something you feel like you could use, like I said, it's free and it's linked below. The first thing I did in my laundry room was sort through all of the clutter all over the ground, get it kind of sorted and organized. I threw a load of laundry in, and now I'm taking everything out of the space because it's not a very big laundry room, so I want to be able to clean it efficiently, and for me that means taking everything out. This also works really well for me because when it does come time to declutter, I can do that in the hallway instead of my cramped laundry room. At this point, everything has been emptied out of this room, and I'm going to start with the floor. I'm sweeping first. I could totally vacuum in here, but I just decided to grab a broom and start sweeping. Once I'm done with this, I'll go ahead and wipe down all of the baseboards. That way the whole floor area is nice and clean, and I can continue on from there. It's really important to remember that your home doesn't have to be spotless to be full of love. A mess does not define your worth or ability. You can have a forgotten space that's really low on the priority list, and that doesn't make you a bad mom or a bad homemaker. You're still capable and you're still allowed to start. The fact that you're even thinking about resetting means you've already started to move forward. Just remind yourself that the space got messy because you've been pouring your energy into other things that mattered. That's not failure, it's motherhood. And you don't need the perfect plan to start either. You just need a starting point. You can start by clearing one surface, wiping something down, tossing one bag of trash. Progress creates motivation, not the other way around. And I walk you through this in my free decluttering checklist, one step at a time. So if you're watching this and feeling inspired to declutter your own space, like I said, I created a simple step-by-step decluttering checklist that walks you through exactly how to get started, even if you're overwhelmed. Now that the floor and baseboards are clean, I'm going to move on to some more dusting. I'm dusting the cords, the washer and dryer, emptying the dryer vent. Whenever I wash clothes in my washer, it kind of moves forward a little bit, so I'll be pushing that back into place and washing the sink. If you do have a messy space like my laundry room, just know that it's not a reflection of your character or your value or your parenting. It's just a space that got pushed aside because you were prioritizing something else and now you're ready to give it some attention. It's not about being behind, it's about being human. Life has seasons. Some rooms fall behind because we've been showing up somewhere else. Whether it's for our kids, our families, our own sanity, there's no shame in that. It's just a room and rooms can be reset. Not only can rooms be reset, you can also reset in other areas of your life too. You can reset your expectations, your routines, your energy, your relationship with your home, your identity, your habits, your mindset, and so many different areas. I feel like knowing that just reminds you that nothing is permanent and there's room for change. Something kind of funny, I don't think we have ever used this sink in my laundry room for any reason whatsoever. Before taking everything out of my laundry room, there was actually a pile of stuff in this sink. I'm gonna go ahead and call it the reset sink instead of the reset bin because we were just putting stuff in here that didn't belong in the laundry room. So once I'm done cleaning out the sink and the dryer vent, it's time to start the decluttering process. And if you've already grabbed my free decluttering checklist and want to take things a step further, I've been working on something really exciting, my Quick Start Decluttering Toolkit. It's a deeper dive into how to reset your home with resources that can actually help you create a real plan without the pressure. If this sounds like something you need, keep an eye out, it's on the way. I'm starting the decluttering process and I'm not going to go through every step that I do while I'm decluttering. I talked about that a lot in last week's video. I'll put a pop-up on screen here so you can check out that video if you're interested, but there are 7 steps in my decluttering process. You can check all of that out in my decluttering checklist linked in the description. Something I would struggle with whenever I completely reset a space like this is thinking that I needed to have my whole house clean before starting the reset. And this was a problem for me because my whole house was never clean at one time and still isn't. So what ended up happening is I would never start the reset because I was constantly working on trying to clean my whole house before starting the project. As you can see, this is like a loop that I would get myself into. I can't start this until this is done, and then another mess would arise and I was like, okay, I still can't start it because this other thing is not done. This would happen over and over again, and then I would never start my reset. I was getting so frustrated and had to tell myself, you can reset this space and still have dishes in the sink. Progress does not have to be all or nothing. This reset took me 4 days, and it's okay if the rest of your house isn't perfect while you focus on one zone. We're not going for perfect anyway. We're going for better than it was yesterday. These are some baby clothes that I'm just not quite ready to let go of yet. I don't know if we're done having kids. I did go through and pick and choose which ones I wanted to keep. I made sure to get rid of the ones that were ripped or stained, but since we're not sure, they're just not something I'm ready to let go of yet, and that is okay. There were also a couple of other things in there. I'm actually going to take the whole basket downstairs rather than taking a storage container up here and then having to take that storage container back downstairs. I'm just going to take the the bucket downstairs with the clothes and put them in the storage container. When we first moved into this house, I had this cart in the laundry room because we had quite a few other items on it. Now I only have about 5 products in my laundry room. I've definitely figured out my favorites, the ones that work the best, and those are BioClean laundry detergent, dryer balls, I have some bluing for my whites, Miss Mouth's stain remover, and a washing machine cleaner from Molly's Suds. A mistake that I think a lot of people make is buying organization methods you think will work before cleaning and decluttering a space. Then once you get into the process of things, you realize what will actually work and what you chose at the beginning may not be the best option. Because if you think about it, you don't know what you're going to declutter until you're actually decluttering. So once you've gone through that process, that would actually be the best time to figure out your organization methods, which is why I'm showing you my laundry basket situation. I definitely think there could be a better solution here than having just these standalone laundry baskets. The space between my washer and my utility sink in my laundry room would be the perfect spot for one of those laundry sorter carts, so I wanted to show you what I was looking at for a solution for this area. I've realized that most messes aren't just mess, they're usually the result of clutter, and by clutter, I don't mean too much stuff. I've gotten comments before when I use the word declutter, like, I didn't see you get rid of anything, I didn't see a garbage bag here. Decluttering to me doesn't just mean getting rid of things, sometimes things don't have a home or stuff piles up in places where it doesn't belong. That is still clutter because it gets in the way of how I want my space to function. Decluttering is about making decisions, creating order, and giving every item a clear place or a clear exit. I've said this before, I am not a minimalist. As a mom of 4, I don't want to try to live with as little as possible, but I have learned that decluttering is the answer when things start to feel overwhelming. To me, decluttering is not about having as little as possible, it's about having less of what's in the way. Less distraction, less overwhelm, less mess that keeps creeping back in. Thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. I'm so glad you were here, and if you haven't already, don't forget to grab the free checklist before you go. It's linked below and can help you get started on your next reset whenever you're ready. Thanks again for being here and watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking care of some everyday home tasks like tidying, resetting, and keeping up with the usual messes that come with family life. While I'm doing that, I want to share how our natural rhythms as women can really affect the way we manage our homes. I'll be sharing what those highs and lows can look like and how to work with them instead of against them so that homemaking feels more manageable and less overwhelming. Have you ever noticed that some weeks you feel super motivated to tackle big projects around the house and other weeks it feels harder just to keep up with the basics? That is not random. It often lines up with the natural rhythms we go through as women. Our energy, focus, and even our patience can shift throughout the month, and I've learned that syncing my cleaning, decluttering, and home resets with those shifts makes everything feel so much more manageable. Instead of fighting against it and trying to keep up with a strict routine, I want to show you how leaning into those ups and downs can actually help you keep your home running smoothly in a way that feels natural and sustainable. So today we're going to be walking through the 4 phases a woman goes through each month, talking about what those times of the month often feel like, what they are good for, and how they can help you make forward progress in your home without worrying about perfection. Just in case you're new here, I do want to introduce myself. My name is Becky Moss. I am a wife and mom to 4 kids ages 7, 6, 4, and 1. I am a work-at-home homeschooling mom who is passionate about helping other overwhelmed moms who are struggling to maintain their home like I used to, find balance and create a calmer, more peaceful, less cluttered home, and build rhythms that don't feel stressful or overwhelming. I know what it's like to live in a constant state of chaos, and I want to show you that it's possible to step out of it and into a home that feels lighter, more manageable, and more supportive of your family life. If you're looking for more support beyond my videos, I do have some resources I've created to help with home resets, decluttering, and mindset shifts. You'll find those linked down in the description, along with my signature program if you'd like to apply. It's all there when you're ready, and it's meant to help you create real, lasting change in your home and in the way you feel about managing it. It's about transformation, not just information, so it's all in the description if you feel you need a little more guidance. So the first monthly phase we're going to talk about as a woman is the menstrual phase. This first phase is when our cycles begin, and it's very common to feel low energy, kind of moody, more tired, and less motivated to do much around the house. Instead of viewing this as a setback, it's actually a perfect time to focus on the basics that keep a home running smooth. Things like making sure the dishes don't pile up, switching over the laundry, or doing a quick evening tidy can feel manageable even when you don't have a lot to give. These simple resets may seem small, but they're the foundation of keeping your home steady throughout the month. Of course, it's not about putting off the basic tasks until this phase, it's more about recognizing the basics always matter, but during this time, they're enough all on their own. For example, you might not feel like decluttering a closet or deep cleaning your bathroom, and that is completely fine. But if you can stay consistent with just the daily resets, you'll avoid slipping into chaos that would feel overwhelming later on. Giving yourself permission to stick to the essentials during these slower days actually supports the rest of your cycle because you're not letting your home get to a place where it feels unmanageable and overwhelming. These cabinets are where we keep all of our crafting and homeschooling material. We just picked up the curriculum for the year. As you can see, I kind of just piled it here after picking it up. Plus, Hazel got a sewing machine and lots of fabric and everything you need to sew with for her birthday. That is also on this countertop, so it looks very cluttered and overwhelming, with this area being kind of the center of our home. It's really important to me to reset this space often. The next phase I want to talk about is the follicular phase, which is typically between days 6 to 13. So as you move out of that lower energy time, the follicular phase often feels like a fresh start. Your energy begins to come back, your mood usually lifts, and there's a natural sense of wanting to get going again. This is such a great time to take advantage of that shift. Instead of just trying to keep up, you may find yourself more motivated to reset spaces that have been bothering you or to start a project that felt too heavy a week ago. For me, this phase is when I notice that it feels easier to make decisions. I feel more clear-headed. Decluttering doesn't feel quite as emotional, and I can look at a drawer or a closet and actually feel ready to sort through it. That extra clarity is something I try to lean into because it makes the whole process smoother. It's also a good time to think about new habits or systems you want to try in your home. Maybe it's setting up a better laundry rhythm, reworking how you handle meals, or creating a new organizing solution in a space that's been frustrating. The energy and optimism of this phase make it easier to start those changes, which means you're more likely to follow through later on. Leaning into this burst of motivation doesn't mean you have to tackle everything at once. It just means paying attention to that natural rise in energy and using it in a way that supports your home. After creating a system that actually works for maintaining my home, something I have found really helpful is running my robot vacuum almost every single night. I know this seems really obvious, but my home used to be in such a chaotic state that I literally could not run my robot vacuum. I know it drives around objects, but because there were so many between toys, clothes, shoes, blankets, you name it, there were so many objects on the ground at all times that it was pretty much pointless for me to use my robot vacuum. Now, fast forward to a time when I'm able to use it almost nightly, and it has been such a game changer. That being said, I do feel like my vacuum mop does a deeper clean, so I still like to use this at least once a week. I used to think that using a regular mop and bucket gave the most thorough, deep clean. But after thinking about it a little more, you're just continuously dipping your mop into dirty mop water. Unless you have one of those that keep the clean water on one side and the dirty water on the other, I just don't think that using a mop and bucket and spreading that dirty mop water around is the best way to go. I love that my vacuum mop continuously uses new, clean, warm water, and I feel like it does a really thorough job. When you use your monthly rhythm to your advantage, it balances out the slower days in the month and helps your home stay steady without having to constantly push against yourself. So the next phase is the ovulatory phase, which is between day 14 and 16. This is the phase where energy usually feels like it's at its highest. Many women notice that they're more productive, more social, and even more confident during this time. When it comes to managing your home, this is the ideal phase to take on those bigger resets or deeper cleans that might have felt overwhelming earlier in the month. This is the time to lean into the projects that require a little extra stamina, like giving a room a full reset, cleaning out the fridge, or tackling those areas that you've been avoiding because they just felt like too much. Since energy and focus often peak here, it feels less draining to take on those larger tasks. Even though it's small, you can use this window to get ahead on the things that will feel harder later in the month, so when your energy dips again, you're not scrambling to catch up. I also think this is a great phase to bring in more connection if you want to. Because patience and energy tend to be higher, you might find it easier to involve your kids in resets, or even get your spouse or family members on board with a bigger project. It feels more natural here to work together instead of trying to push through it on your own. When you use this high energy phase to lean into bigger projects, it creates balance for the entire month. You're not meant to keep this same level of energy all of the time, but by working with it when it shows up, you help your home feel more manageable when you're in the slower phases later on. As you can see, I'm going through Wyatt, my 4-year-old's clothes, to pull out anything that doesn't fit him. It's just that time of the year, time to go through everyone's closets, pull out things from the summer, take out everything that's too small, and maybe run to the store to get some new seasonal items that are the right size. So as I was thinking about doing this, I thought I had to buy new clothes for all 4 kids, and then I remembered that I had packed away all of Noah's clothes that were in good condition in the basement. I did this with Hazel's old clothes as well, so I ran down to the basement and grabbed a storage container of size 4T for Wyatt and size 18-month for Adeline. This was so great because now I don't have to get anything new from the store to fit them. I just get to put them in their brother and sister's clothes, and my kids love hand-me-downs. They think it is so cool and fun that their big sibling wore those clothes. Just a minute ago, you saw me throw size 4T in the washer, so while those are washing and drying, I am decluttering all of Wyatt's clothes. Now this was a really busy day. On this day, we decided to pull out all of our Halloween decorations, and I unfortunately don't love to share clean and decorate videos because I am not the best decorator, and besides that, my kids love to help me, which can get overwhelming, so I'm not going to bring filming into the mix. They absolutely love pulling out decorations, and I kind of let them take charge with some direction, so my house isn't perfectly aesthetically pleasing or anything. It's just a fun Halloween decorated home. I mentioned that because there was so much going on. We baked banana bread, pulled out the Halloween decorations, pulled out a big tent for the kids to play in, had a bonfire, just so many fun things going on with the kids that this decluttering was my primary focus on this day, and washing and drying the clothes happened throughout the day, so I didn't actually get back to putting them away until early in the morning the next day. I naturally woke up this morning on this day at 4:45, which is quite early for me, but I love getting up in the morning before the kids. As a mom with 4 kids, 7 and under, this is such a peaceful way to start the day. I don't have headphones in, there's no noise. Wyatt is actually sleeping in my room, which is why I can be in his room during this time, which worked out perfectly because I needed to get this done. But I always say that waking up early makes me feel like I'm on offense rather than defense when my kids finally wake up in the morning, which is usually around 7 a.m. As the month moves into the luteal phase, energy often starts to taper off. You may notice that patience feels shorter, motivation is harder to find, and small messes seem to get under your skin more than usual. For many women, this is also when PMS symptoms show up, which can add to the sense of frustration. Instead of seeing this as a setback, it's another place where leaning into the natural rhythm makes home life more manageable. The clutter that didn't bother you earlier in the month might suddenly feel overwhelming overwhelming and it's easy to get stuck in your head about everything that needs to be done. Instead of fighting against those feelings, it can be a really valuable time to lean into preparation and clarity. One of the best tools for this phase is doing a brain dump. When everything feels like too much, take a piece of paper and write down all of the tasks, to-dos, and mental notes that are weighing on you. Getting it out of your head and onto paper clears that mental space and makes things feel more manageable. From there, you can choose what's most important and let go of the pressure to hold on to it all at once. This is also a great phase for behind-the-scenes work that sets you up for success later. Things like meal planning, writing out grocery lists, looking ahead at the family calendar, or tying up any loose ends on projects you may have already started. These tasks don't require the same kind of physical energy as a big home reset, but they do have a huge impact on keeping your home balanced. By planning and brain dumping during this phase, you create room to breathe heading into the menstrual phase when energy dips even more. Instead of feeling weighed down, you'll already have a clearer head and plan in place, which makes it easier to maintain a rhythm that feels natural and sustainable. When you step back and look at all 4 phases together, you can see how working with your natural rhythms creates balance in your home. Some days are about slowing down and keeping up with the basics, others are about leaning into motivation and tackling bigger resets. And then there are times for planning, preparation, and tying up loose ends. It all flows together in a rhythm that feels sustainable instead of forcing yourself to do the same thing every single day. I hope this gives you some encouragement to notice those highs and lows and use some of them to your advantage in a way that feels more natural. Thank you so much for being here with me today, for spending part of your day with me, and for watching this video. I hope it was helpful and motivating. Don't forget you can find some additional resources linked in the description, and I will see you in the next one. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing a normal day of simple tidying around my home when life gets busy. I'll be cleaning up the kitchen, doing some laundry, some dishes, and tidying my bedroom. I'm also doing a bit of light decluttering in my closet to clear out some clothes that have been taking up space and that I no longer need. I'm starting in my kitchen today, picking everything up, then I'm going to move on to doing some dishes before wiping down the counters and doing a bit of vacuuming. moving into my bedroom now. There's not too much to pick up in here. I'm going to quickly make the bed, then move on to folding that laundry you see over there on the left-hand side. It's starting to pile up, so I'd like to tackle it and get it out of the way. Once I was done putting away the laundry, I wanted to do some decluttering in my closet. There were some items in there that I have been looking at for the past couple of weeks, maybe even months. Some items that I have even set aside and made a mental note of that I really didn't want or need anymore. So I wanted to take some time today to do that decluttering. It always feels good to declutter items that have been on your mind for a while because not only does it clear up space in the area you are decluttering, but it also clears mental space because you no longer have to continuously look at and think about decluttering those items. During this declutter, there were a lot of shoes I was holding on to that I no longer liked, wanted, or needed. Every time I would put on a pair of tennis shoes, I would notice it, and it would kind of bother me that I had so many shoes that I did not want, whether they were really old and worn or just uncomfortable and I knew I wasn't going to wear them. They were just sitting there taking up space. Over the last year or so, I have switched all of my tennis shoes over to the brand Allbirds. I find them to be the most lightweight, most comfortable shoes. And if you've been here for a while, you know that I love wearing house shoes, which are just regular shoes that I don't wear outside. So I don't track bacteria around my home. I have separate shoes for outside and inside. I choose to wear shoes around my home because I feel like it makes me more productive. For whatever reason, there has been a study done on this showing that wearing shoes does in fact increase productivity because it tells your brain that it's time to get going. I'll put the link to those shoes in the description below. Another item I wanted to declutter in my closet was a lot of jeans. I feel like I've been holding on to certain pairs of jeans for a long time and it was just time to say goodbye. After finishing that decluttering, I have some socks I need to finish folding and putting away. Then I will wipe down our nightstands, clean the mirror, and do some vacuuming. Thank you so much for being here, watching, and spending some time with me today. I hope today's video gave you some motivation to keep going and get some things done on your to-do list as a busy mom. Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.